Hi, welcome to That's a Thing Accent Core, episode 0.68. I'm your host, Drewer Falls, and it is
Oh,
Monday, April the. I didn't actually look.
it's
April the
13th.
13th.
Yeah, it's Monday the 13th, the most spooky
Yep.
day of all.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin, also known as Raylith. You know who it is. We're trying different
Oh,
recording, so maybe it'll work
I,
better this time.
I just realized. Okay, so I knew what next week's number was,
Yeah.
but do you realize what date it's coming out on?
What date is it on?
If Monday is the 13th, what's 7 days later?
Oh, is it going to be 69 420?
It's gonna be 69 420.
Oh, that's ooh, that's gonna be. There's gonna be. We got. Oh, that's important. That's an important day. Oh, I'm excited. That's gonna. I don't need something stupid has to be done. I have to. Okay. All right.
Yep.
That's important.
Something to think about and something to look forward to for all you folks at home.
Yeah, that'll either be a really good one or really poor. Like it'll be really good or really failure. It'll be a gimmicky one. I don't know
Yeah.
what the gimmick's going to be, but it will be gimmicky and bad.
I have an idea for a game, but like you say, I don't know how well it'll actually go.
That's yeah, because it's schedules and
Yep.
and I don't know.
But yeah, so
I
what have you been into this week, Kevin?
well, most of my time has been spent either I've been because of the quarantine, I find myself so listless that it's hard for me to watch things I have to seriously pay attention to. So I've been doing Animal Crossing, Magic the Gathering, and what else? Oh, I've been watching the loading ready runs role playing streams because they're easy to watch and I don't have to. And if I need to close my eyes and lay down, I'm not missing anything because I
Yeah.
don't have to watch the screen, and that's really important for me.
Yeah. It's still like the only loading ready run I've watched was their trip to Northern uh, Road Quest. There you go.
Yeah, I've been They've been doing an Aliens tabletop RPG, and they're really good. They did the correct thing of not of holding back for when the aliens show up. You gotta get that. You don't just pop them in the first scene. Nah, you keep it. You build the tension, and I'm digging it.
So who's involved in?
It's Graham, Alex, and two other people. I think maybe Cameron, who wasn't on Road Quest,
Yeah.
and then someone else that was not on Road Quest.
I don't think Graham was on Road Quest. I think he had the camera, but he was never actually.
Yeah, Alex was the guy in the long hair and the next. No. It's the two oh yeah, okay. Now I remember. It's the two who are in the weeaboo car.
Okay, yeah, the worst car.
Yeah, they've improved. Like if you watch them in other things, like they're really
Okay.
good on the role play stream. The bald guy is the Wayland Yutani commanding officer, and he's been the corporate man, and it's been pretty funny. Where
All right.
he's like just telling people to dig through guts and stuff. I'm not doing it. That's below my pay grade. You gotta do it.
So he's doing the Justin approach to role play where he's just being himself.
Yes, it's great. And another guy I was in the car is just being the he's just I would say he's being the Justin, where he's just being like, I'm just the everyday man stuck in this stupid spaceship with robots and aliens and bureaucrats, and I'm just trying to get paid. And then things got real bad. I like it. I approve it. It's easy. It's easy listening and watching. And other than that,
I always want to do role playing things, but I find it's very hard to get a group that wants to also do it, and B, get a group that also wants to be in character, or at least try to be in character for most.
Yeah, I think maybe at least for the loading ready run people in this D&D stream, you have it because it is the stream and it is their Patreon, that the guy who's Cameron, who's setting it all up, there's an element of that's his job. So he spent his quote unquote work day is setting up this role playing scenario. Whereas if it was for you and me, or we'd have to go, okay, on our days off, we're gonna have to set up this campaign and write a bunch of crap, and that is work. It's not just I can just do whatever. It's like I gotta set up all this shenanigans, and it's like, ugh. That's been my biggest problem from trying to stream role playing stuff, because it's a lot of work if you want to DM stuff, and I'm usually tired and don't want to do that work.
Because I keep thinking about it, I have an idea for a session in Ravnica, but pulling the resources together to actually, I've been wondering, can I use Microsoft Excel to just make the grid lines and then just color code them to represent, the blue ones are like a river and the green.
Oh yeah, you do that. Like, the map doesn't have to be very detailed. It just has to be somewhat there.
Legible.
Yeah. The issue is, to me, is when my biggest complaint on role-playing systems, one is learning the systems, and two is it's why I love D&D aesthetically, but not actually playing it, is doing all the math parts, and I don't like having to do math.
I don't mind it for the character creation side, but then doing the roll and okay, you got 15. Now what's your strength? Okay, and what's your weapon modifier? That part kills it.
To me, it's also, if you want to do experience, where it's like, okay, I have to set up this encounter, and then if you beat the counter, I have to do the math, I have to put in the algorithm of how much experience you need, and then you go here, and then it's just like that micromanagey stuff that I don't like.
Forgotten Realms did it correct.
Yeah.
And if I did the D&D campaign, I think all I would take from weapons would be their damage values.
Oh, yeah.
And then all I would say is, no, just roll a d20, and that's going to be what decides.
Yeah, do you hit or not?
You'll just do maybe slightly more than max damage, or slightly more than average damage for your weapon, and it'll be fine. And I'm not going to care about, oh my god, D&D has damage types. They have piercing, slashing, bludgeoning, all these stupid different weapon damage types that you then have to worry about.
See, I like that in some aspects, but not as a hard, like a soft modifier of, if it'd be like, if you try to punch Monkey D. Luffy, you're going to do less damage than if you try to slash him with a knife, then you're going to do more damage. Just that sort of, but not the hard of like, well, if you punch, that's 1d4 plus 2, but if you slash, it's 2d8 plus 4, or it's like, ugh, yuck.
Yeah. It's wild. I might actually start trying to put together actual D, but it would mean Cody has the Ravnica D&D book. I do not.
I mean, you could always, just kind of look it
Borrow it
up.
from Cody. Yeah, borrow it from Cody.
Yeah, get a lending copy
Yeah,
from Cody.
yeah.
I was going for some kind of veiled piracy reference, but then I remembered that I think it'd be easier just to find the copy, so I don't know anymore. I don't know what I was
Yeah.
going for. It kind of
Yeah, oh
failed.
no.
Kind of failed. The Alien RPG has a cool thing where there's a stress mechanic, but having some stress actually makes your rolls better because you're more focused. So like ranks 1 and 2 of stress improve your character, but then higher starts to deprove your character.
It shows the blood is pumping and getting sharp.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now no, I'm a little bit of stress here. Now I got to take things seriously. But then if you get too stressed, your characters start having like involuntary shakes and twitches.
You're playing Jenga after a close Mario Kart race.
Yes, you're doing. It's cool, and they actually do a really good job of role playing the characters not knowing what things are, even though as an outsider you instantly know what things are. So when you hit the kind of abandoned ship and you get to an area where there's a bunch of resiny chitin on the wall, the characters are like, I don't know what this is. We need to do some tests on it. When realistically, y'all know what that is. Y'all know what's there. You know exactly what's there, but they're playing it up as the characters do not know, and I appreciate that. I know they're.
That's another part of D&D. I think you have to either have played for a while or be exposed to groups that have played for a while, where if you're playing and you have a dumb character but you're one of the smart ones in the group, you need to accept, like, outside of the game you can say and give ideas, but inside of the game just make it so one of the smart characters is who's actually coming up with the idea.
Yeah, I think it was an article I read way back when I was still reading Order of the Stick. Just pretty good comic. Kind of got a little too wordy, and I stopped reading. But he was talking about the guy where he was playing a lawful good paladin who trusted people, and even though he knew the person that outside of the table, he knew that person was lying, and that this was a trap. His character was lawful good and trusting, so they walked headfirst into it because, like, of course, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's the Unforgotten Realms whenever the ogre rolled a 20 on his bluff.
Yep. It's, oh, I don't see your trap. Ha ha, fooled you. You gotta do it. Oh, man. Poor you. We're not going into that today. But yeah, that's pretty much. I've been looking at spoilers for in the card list of Ikoria for Magic. I've been playing Animal Crossing and watching role playing. That's been what I've been doing. I'll maybe I'll remember something else as you say something. It'll spark my memory.
Yeah, or whenever we end the podcast, we're like,
yeah, that's also true. I mean, so you say something because I don't want to just keep talking forever because I want to complain about Legends of Runeterra a little bit.
Okay, we'll get to there.
Yeah.
So my week has consisted of still watching Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's a good show.
I finally finished the Dark Tournament.
Oh.
And yeah, so I'd also made the point of tracking fight match numbers. I wanted to see what the actual ranking was because I remember as a child feeling cheated that Hiei seemed benched for most of it. Turns out he fights 2 less matches than Yusuke.
Yeah, but each one of Hiei's matches are so decisive on the victory, and he's done.
Yeah. All of Hiei's matches are one-sided, or they start one-sided the other way, and then he turns it one-sided his way.
And then he's out for the rest of the like.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can't fight anymore. A dragon of the darkness flamed my hand.
So, and then I started thinking of, imagine Yu Yu Hakusho, but instead of Hiei, Kurama, and Kuwabara, it's like Jin, Yu, and the Ice Guy
Oh
on
yeah.
Jin's team. Imagine that series.
Oh, that'd be great.
Also, I think I understand the premise of YouTube essays now, because while watching the Dark Tournament, I just realized someone needs to make a video that's just exploring the Dark Tournament through the lens of Hunter x Hunter.
Oh
Because
yeah.
there is so much stuff in Hunter x Hunter that's just the Dark Tournament.
Well, yeah. The dark tournament is the best tournament art in all of anime.
Yeah.
There's none better.
But let's see. Kid that fights with yo-yos.
Yep.
Check, we got that. Energy powers that are, you have to level up enough to actually be able to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those.
You got the restriction and pledge. You got the thing that hurts you, but it's really strong.
There's just all kinds of that throughout the Dark Tournament where you just see, well, Togashi really liked these ideas and apparently was not satisfied with just being one and done. Also, the fact that you can make an argument they're not, but in the match versus Team Toguro, there are definitely at least 2 Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah. Well, I think Dragon Ball Z, there a lot of it. There a lot of things are response to Dragon Ball Z. To me, Togashi really likes kind of riffing on stuff that was talked about in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and tweaking it.
We know it's also he did Meruem design based on Cell and.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was explicit.
But let's see, the fight Kurama between Bomb Guy when his mask gets knocked off, and then he goes from black hair to blonde hair and gets powered up.
Yep.
And then Hiei's fight with Bui, where he takes off the training armor, which I feel less inclined to say, well, that's just Dragon Ball Z, but also, that's.
No, it's Dragon Ball Z. Listen, every Dragon Ball Z, it was Fist of the North Star, and then stuff was riffing on Fist of the North Star, and then it's Dragon Ball Z, and stuff is riffing off Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and stuff is still riffing on Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I think also Ava has entered that to a point. And
I would say in like the yeah, I guess so. Ava is the first in my experience that did the whole idea of the childhood TV show, but it's bad, where it's piloting the robot sucks, or being the superhero sucks. It's not a fun thing, at least in anime terms.
Positive it wasn't the first to do it. It's just the first thing that.
Oh yeah, it's the first. Well, at least universal thing. Not universal, but just in the anime sphere, it was the first popular thing. There's always going to be some random thing where it's like, yeah, there it is.
Well, and again, I'm hesitant to say popular either, because it came here first and it's big here, and that was our first experience with that idea in anime. It doesn't. Otaku over there don't already know.
Yeah, but Ava was super big in Japan.
Oh yeah, it was for sure. But I'm just saying, just because it's also big enough that it reached here in the late, doesn't anything else not as popular that did that exploration first.
I'm gonna make an example that maybe I'm stupid, and maybe we're both stupid for forgetting. Wasn't Gundam that too? where where
Uh, yeah,
yeah, like
yeah. Amuro Ray is struggling to get that gun going and operational.
and the whole point is a lot of stuff is Amuro is a child. Amuro is effectively a teen piloting an F-15 fighter jet really good, and the problems of having a teen pilot that F-15 fighter jet really good show up. That's the whole point. And having moral quandaries doesn't Gundam original OG Gundam have a scene where Amuro starts to realize that there's other people inside of the robots? Like at the beginning, he was just saying, "Yo, I'm killing the robots," but then at some point, it's like, "No, there's people in there." Or am I just forgetting that? Or
I'm not 100% because I've never watched all of OG Gundam. You can even argue that theme and parts of it are also in, Champion Joe, where being the hero boxer is also misery and
yeah,
spreading misery.
and Char Aznabul's the coolest motherfucker.
I mean, he's no Trace Kushner.
No one is Trace Kushranada. No
Listen,
one.
that man is 25 years old.
He's so cool. He's just God. But then again, I mean, and Char Aznabul's he's the first one, so of course you're not going to be. He's the bottom layer. Trace is built upon the foundation of greatness.
Yeah. Who is Char based on? Because Char is not original. He's based on someone else.
It's probably some like Captain Harlock.
Captain Harlock.
Char is probably Captain Harlock, but with the design of Cobra, because he's the red and blonde. It's probably like a mix of those two.
Yeah, I can see it.
Or Cobra, the design of Cobra before he became a goofball.
Yeah. I would love it if I was an animator. My side YouTube hustle would just be taking Cobra clips and redrawing his head to be classic Cobra's head, but he's still the goofball, just to see what that's like.
See a Captain Harlock going, whoa, and like being stupid with the psycho gun.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, because they explicitly say his personality wasn't the same.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this face matches me better. Oh, Cobra's great.
Oh, I'm so mad that's not streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yesterday was spent then watching Lone Wolf and Cub. I've watched like 5 of those movies. There's 6 total.
Mm.
And it is so baffling. That I think it's inspired. I've heard the story of how the lead actor got the part, but I think it is great that the live-action Lone Wolf and Cub, Ogami Ito, is kind of pudgy.
Oh yeah,
It gives those movies a different feel to them.
Oh, I am way down with the action hero who's just kind of schlubby. There's a way, as you say, it's a realness to it where you're not like hyper cut. It's not Hobbs and Shaw, where Hobbs and Shaw is stupid and fanciful. It's like, nah, this guy's kind of schlubby.
And so apparently, whenever they were announcing they were going to be the Lone Wolf and Cub live action film, that actor went to Kazuo Koike's house to get his blessing to be Ito. And he even said he brought a sword with him and said, I know what you're thinking. A pudgy man like this couldn't do the acrobats needed. And then proceeded to tumble and jump around his lawn to show off his physical capabilities, that he could be the Lone Wolf.
Yes! No, that's great.
Oh.
Now you're just making me think of some alternate timeline with Fat Kenshin, and I'd be super down for it.
Well, it's not fat though. It's pudgy. He's
Well,
not
that's
like
like, yeah, like he's not fat, but like
he's just got that little. He's got that
he has the
jowl coming in.
he has the dad. Okay, I'm gonna say dad bod
That
Kenshin.
bod Kenshin. Yeah.
Instead of like the beautiful Bishonen boy, the kind of like Rurouni
But he's
Kenshin,
that
maybe his
old.
hair's thinning.
Yeah, he's that old. The Homer Simpson Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, that's like how different would that show have been? Because everyone else was kind of old, but Tosai the Manslayer still looked like he was 17.
If he looked up here to Saito,
Yeah,
because Saito looked his age.
yes he did.
So if Kenshin was just the other flip side of that, where he maybe didn't take care of himself as well as Saito did.
And I imagine he wouldn't have, with all the guilt of being the manslayer. To me, that would have made way more sense if he kind of got out of shape.
Loved out.
Yeah.
Because Saito became a cop, so it
Yeah.
makes sense he stayed in shape. But yeah, Kenshin was kind of slubby.
And then you go, because then over the course of the series is him getting less schlubby as he's having to fight more and more. So at the
By
beginning,
the time he gets to Shishio, he looks more like Saito does, where he's kind of thinned out and almost dead inside looking.
yeah, he's wiry.
Yeah. Bunpei Shiratori wiry.
Yeah, they sharpened the blade. He's dull at
Yeah.
the beginning. He gets sharpened over the series.
Same Bunpei Shiratori. I miss good Ninja Warrior. I don't deal with the American.
Oh, American
Yeah.
Ninja Warrior is terrible.
It's trash.
I think it's because American Ninja Warrior has the issue of it's trying to make characters inorganically. Where, because I've watched American Ninja Warrior, they'll have an extended intro to a character and then they'll just fail. Whereas in OG Ninja Warrior, the characters became characters because they succeeded multiple times, or they got far multiple times.
Or they just came out enough. There was like one scrawny old man who was just there every year, and he almost always went out on the initial step.
Yeah, that's
But then those years when he finally got past the stepping stones, you got hyped for him because he'd put in the work.
That's what I mean. That's an organic character. They're not trying to force it by having some cutaway and showing the guy like, oh, now he's doing this stuff and now he's going with his kids and his family's watching. It's like, nah, he just does it every time.
Yeah. And that's the other thing of, because the American one is filming all of these stories before the competition starts. And then when they get it to it and they failed, well, we still have recorded all this footage. We're still going to have to, we can't just throw this away. That means all that man hours we put in capturing it is wasted. I guess we'll do something with it.
See, in Japanese Ninja Warrior, you got a pre-roll if they knew you were going to succeed. Makoto Nagano gives that pre-roll of him doing handstand push-ups on top of his sailboat after he wins. He does. The reward for success is a pre-roll.
So I have a question, Kevin.
Yeah.
At what age did you accept you would never be able to clear stage 1 of Ninja Warrior?
As soon as I saw it. like as soon as I saw it. And then, okay, so when I realized, to be more precise, it was when I realized that Ninja Warrior requires extreme upper body strength, and I have none.
But no, that's it used to be stage 1 didn't require as much as stage 2.
Oh, I mean,
stage 1 wasn't as much upper body. I just mean getting the final challenge is your warped wall, and if you can get up the warped wall,
I couldn't
then
do that. What I mean is, I've seen Ninja Warrior, and I would have never been able to do it. Never.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at that and I'm like, no.
Having the 4 years younger than you, I still had that lie in myself that at some point I could be the most badass man in the world if I chose to be.
Yeah, that's Snow Crash.
Yeah, and you also have the bias of saying, well, like I'm taller than the average man in Japan, so the warp wall is going to be a little bit easier for me too.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say somewhere around the time that G4 became the campus PD channel is whenever I kind of had to accept, just as G4 had died, so had my dreams.
I think it was, I mean, not to toot my own horn, but where it was, I mean, at some point I would be able to do not parkour, but being able just to like jump down some flights of stairs. And eventually I couldn't do that anymore. And that was about my senior year of college where I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Where I'd just be like, no, I'll just climb over. Because there's one, it was like, it was a bunch of, it was going to the digital media building where you'd have to go around like a spiral kind of long walkway. And there was this part where if you just jumped over the railing and just kind of went down, it was like a 4-foot drop. But if you walked all the way around, it was way longer. So why wouldn't I just climb over the edge and just take the 4-foot drop? And then one day I took the 4-foot drop and I barely walked away from it. I'm like, that's over. Because it always made me feel like, I'm like, haha, here's my parkour trick. I skip having to walk 20 feet around because I just went over the edge. And I did that once and I was hobbling away a little bit. And I'm like, oh, there we go.
Oh, I feel that one.
Yeah. Anything else you've been up to?
Let's see. I've been taking plants outside for like 2 every.
Oh, that's good. I still go for a walk almost every day outside.
Okay, I don't think I've talked about this but I got tomato seeds. And instead of taking 1 pack, I took 2 packs. Because I thought, in case, all of them don't germinate, I want to make sure I'm good. I'm covered. I'm now sitting on 8 fucking tomato plants.
you got a tomato garden.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
So, that's fantastic. I think I'm going to transfer some of them into the ground, and I'll just put a sign up saying, help yourself to my neighbors.
Free tomatoes.
And then I'll just have a couple, like, in the patio area for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is important to actually be going outside and doing stuff outside. It relieves the stir craziness of it all.
Yeah. Also, just doing some Zoom class session group projects helps too.
Yeah.
Last week got rough for me because I'd put in to be off work last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then the conference that I'd requested off for was canceled. But I was still like, it turns out that was the wrong move when you're getting no socialization at all.
Yeah! That's how you do it.
But, yeah, twice a week going to Krispy Kreme to work. At least I'm interacting with being.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, I still see, like, my dad every day. Where, like, because I'm Uber Eats. So I pick up food. I have human contact. Although I will say, shaving has become way harder to do.
Yes, it has. You're not even wrong, home.
If I did not have the Twitch stream where there's a face cam on me, I would have a beard. That's the only way I'm like, nah, yeah, because I have to be somewhat presentable, so I have to shave every couple days because the Twitch stream. Otherwise, I'd be
Yep.
like, I don't care.
That is, I have to go to work, so I have to shave at least twice a week.
Yep, that's what I'm down to. I'm like, I'm not shaving every day, but I will shave once it starts to hit. There's a layer of facial hair. I'm like, yeah, I gotta shave. I don't want to talk more about quarantine talk, but I'm not hurting, but there's some minor things that are bothering me. Like, I don't know the next time I'm going to get a haircut. My haircut's starting, like, I'm starting to get into I need a haircut range, and I don't know when that's going to happen, and I'm not going to cut my own hair.
See, I was thinking about it last week of getting a razor, the electric kind, not the face shaving,
The hair ones.
and putting the big gauge on it and then just doing the sides of my head. But then thankfully enough time has passed where I've gotten to accepting how long it is.
See, for me, it's a problem because of my thinning hair in the front. I have the conundrum of the more hair I get, the balder I look.
I remember the Target combo.
Yeah, or as I would also call it, the Adam Sessler. Where there's a certain level where if your hair is short, you look fine, but once it starts to grow out, you look really, because how it curls, they're like, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm also not liking that it's cold. It got cold again. I hate
It
it.
was 30 degrees this morning.
Oh, hold on a second. I gotta turn on the heater.
Okay. So,
I have to turn on the
it's got
space
cold
heater
again.
because if I don't, oh, that's stupid. The regular heater will turn on poorly because it's still heater problems.
Mm-hmm. Living that life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have to turn off the heater at night. So every morning when I wake up, it's about 63 degrees in the apartment.
I've always, except for the deepest parts of winter, I typically turn my heater off anyway.
Oh, I love the being warm at night. It's very nice, but I've gotten to the point where I'm like, no, I can't have it because it's so loud. That's the problem. Is that the heater, because it's rattly and it does it intermittently, so I can't get it fixed until it breaks. It just ugh.
Well, if you want it to break, you should run it more.
Well, the problem is that if I run it more, it's so loud I can't do anything. It's really loud. It's like if someone, I would describe it as effectively if someone is running a vacuum cleaner level of loud in the same room as you, and you're sitting, and that's how loud the heater is. But it's also that kind of low resonant hum where even if you plug your ears, you will still feel and hear it.
Yeah.
It's the mixture of a vacuum cleaner and some jerk outside in his car has the bass way too loud, and you can feel and hear it, and you're like, what is going on out there? I hate that. All right. Drew, you still there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember if there's anything else I've done. I've read some more Bone.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about things that are just like really good because you're just saying, yeah, it's good.
No, so let's talk about Phony Bone gaining control of that village.
Okay.
And how,
Yeah.
oh, I was going to say, and how on the nose that is for these days.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Phony Bone.
I hate that what used to be sarcastic exaggerations are now just modern day life.
Oh yeah, it's there. We've entered such an absurdity that humor is now no longer exist anymore. It's just
Yeah,
the Daily Show is horrible. One, because I don't think Trevor Noah is nearly as good as Jon Stewart,
he's
and
not.
he's leagues not as good. And two, every headline they're saying might as well be real news. It's the Onion is now just a news outlet. That's the problem.
Yeah,
You
It's-
can't parody it.
It's problems and concerns that no one thought to prepare for because they were just so stupid that why would we ever need to prepare for this?
And then you realize, oh no, that's what it is.
That's real life.
Real life is way stupider than you think, but also not stupid enough. Oh, what was I gonna say? Okay, I want to complain about Legends of Runeterra.
Go to town.
Okay, Legends of Runeterra, in the terms of the digital card game sphere, is exactly, I think, how we felt about, what was it? It was like, it's the Western fighting game that everything from a system is just so well done, but the game itself is just kind of boring. You know how that is?
Mm-hmm.
Where everything about Legends of Runeterra, like, on paper, makes it the best card game, and then you play it, and it's just not that interesting. It was interesting for like a couple weeks, but it just fell off, and you're just like, well, ugh. It's super generous. They do frequent balancing. They try to make every card workable in some way, but it's just bland. It's just really bland.
I don't like that they're changing cards. That just feels wrong. Granted, I understand that's a benefit of digital card games. And I guess Hearthstone did that too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't change. That feels.
See, I like it, but it's one of those things I would say is in the difficult to describe phenomenon of you think you want it, but you don't. Where
I don't want.
Well, yeah.
I'm of the opinion they can just make new cards. I've played too much Yu-Gi-Oh for too long in my life to know. Well, why don't you just buff all
Well, I think
obnoxious Celtic Guardian?
See, to me, it's Runeterra kind of suffers the Yu-Gi-Oh scenario of the cards because they're getting tuned so much. There's the good stuff deck where you're just like, well, why would I run this when I can just run all the best cards and the two best regions, and that's the best deck. And that's been nerfed. That's been nerfed into the ground like twice. Where the top deck was like, here's the best deck. It's from all of the menace cards. They're overstated, and then those got nerfed. And it's like, okay, here's all the elusives, which are just flying. The flying deck, that's now the best deck. And then those got all destroyed. So now the best deck is, okay, here's all the generically high-statted monsters with no real abilities, because there's not a lot of removal. So that's now the best deck. It's just a bunch of big mans.
That, to me, is the most credible point a card game could ever get, that you have nerfed everything else so much that vanilla creatures are now your best deck. That says you've gone too far in your nerf.
Oh yeah, and it is. And they're not quite vanilla, but it's the current strongest faction is the vanilla faction, where most of it's like there's a tribal synergy, and it's all about like buffing stats. It's basically black was the strongest, so we nerfed black. Then blue was the strongest, and then we nerfed black. And now we're at green. Green is now the strongest.
Until it get nerfed.
And then it'll probably be, I don't know. But the aggressive deck is just not good. Not very good. It's just it doesn't, and it's also because I was really hyped for Legends of Runeterra. I wanted it to be good so that Magic would have to counterpunch it, but Magic doesn't need to counterpunch it.
Apparently not.
No. In Hearthstone's just bleh. It's kind of like Runeterra feels more like Hearthstone, and Hearthstone got bad because of that sort of scenario where you just have the good cards were good because they were always good, where in Magic a card is good because you build around it and make it good, and that's the kind of situation.
Overbalancing to me is one of the worst.
I agree.
That is trying to say you understand what the game is and needs to be better than not just hundreds of players or more, but hundreds of players with way more time to spend on your game.
Yeah, like in Magic. Okay, you go.
I was gonna point out. Imagine if Melee or Marvel 2 had been balanced as much as Legends of Runeterra.
Well, yeah, it's basically every game. It'd be like if Street Fighter was just 12 clones of Ryu. They all had the same moveset, but they just looked different. That's balanced.
Yeah.
But it's like ugh. Or it's also Runeterra. The draft mode is kind of it's fun like a few times, and then it gets really it's strangely more bomb dependent, and honestly I like Teamfight Tactics more. As a League of Legends quote unquote card game, Teamfight Tactics is just way better. It's more interesting every round, because it's so drafty and synergistic, plays differently. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't really like watching.
Oh, that's fine. I was debating on either streaming Runeterra or Teamfight Tactics on Sunday, just as like a check. I do want to do a check-in on Runeterra when at the end of the month they're doing an expansion, and I just want to see, has it changed? Are the changes significant enough for me to go back to play it? So far, not really. The abilities have shown, like in the new cards, are double attack and exactly the same as one of their other mechanics, except it's targeted. So they have a mechanic where you can have a creature forcefully make another creature block it. So like, let's say you attack its challenger, so you can attack with a creature and make something block it. And then they added a new thing where you can effectively put a counter on one of your opponent's creatures, and then any of yours can block it if they want. So they've kind of like, it's hard to explain, but they made the exact same mechanic.
They blocked it.
But effectively it's the same mechanic.
Yeah. It's offensive fighting versus defensive fighting.
Yeah. Magic, if the closest thing in Magic would be if you had a mechanic where there's the fight effect where both creatures deal damage equal to their power to each other, and then you had
No, what I was gonna say, Magic kind of has it with that new Godzilla variant.
Yeah,
but I don't remember what the card is, because there's already a tree folk that has combat only with their tough.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
and then the new Godzilla
which is your power
attack. Your power's toughness.
Yeah, but imagine if that, instead of on like one or two cards, was a keyword. And then they said, check out this brand new keyword that's changing the game. And you're just like, no, that's just the same.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
Surprise.
We have Death Touch and now Exile Touch, where any creature dealt damage is exiled. Which is, I mean, that'd be really, really good. But it's like functionally the same thing.
Yeah. So we have Shroud, and now we have Hexproof.
Yeah, which Hexproof seems to be fixed Shroud. Although
Yeah.
there's some benefits to Shroud. I do like the idea where in Shroud you couldn't pump your creature. It was kind of like what's on it now.
Yeah, because it means that creature could have some other stuff that a Hexproof. A Shroud creature could maybe get an extra point of toughness
Yeah.
power that a Hex.
Or something that gives Shroud could have higher, like if you have it, because there is a shield that gives hexproof and it's kind of weak, but you could have like a +2/+2 Shroud to something and be like, oh, okay, because that means it can't be targeted anymore. But it's like a little bit, you can't keep stacking on stuff to it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. What else was I going to talk about?
Did we already talk about Mutate?
I don't. I think we did. I
Yeah,
think,
we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, talked about the Godzilla bear.
Yeah. Like the full set's been the full set's been shown. I have some hunches on things that'll be good. I think I have this feeling in my gut that the cycling deck is not going to be as good as you think, but there's going to be a Mardu, which is black, red, white sacrifice deck, I think will be off the chain. I think that...
I feel like you have a tendency to undervalue cards that just have options. Like, yeah, cycling maybe not be great, but I feel like you just undervalue the benefit that is mid to late game. You just get to draw a card instead of playing a lane.
Oh, I know. Let me tell you, so how I instinct. So whenever I look at Magic cards, I have a gut reaction, and generally my gut reaction is 100% wrong. So like my gut reaction says that cycling is overblown, that most mutates are not good, the human tribal seems really strong, and sacrifice decks seem like they'll be the top deck. So and the safe bet is flip all of those. That's the true thing.
I mean, I don't think it would actually be good, but the point that I keep remembering is making the Eye Collector deck. And I stand by, there is a card that is 4 and a blue to return any permanent to the top of the opponent's deck, and it's an instant. And I think you undervalue the potential that has Eye Collector deck, where you get to kill anything that's on the board at instant.
Yeah, but it's just it's also like I saw a video of a guy who talked about creatures that were really good to evolve on, and all the ones he was choosing were like the big expensive creatures. When my brain goes,
evolve the big expensive creature.
Well, it's like so you have Questing Beast who already has like so much text on it, and yes, giving that more text is good. That's obvious.
But like, to me, it's you want to evolve the 1 and a white 1/2 double strike creature. That's the creature you want to evolve.
So I had a jank combo thinking about that. So the 1/2 double striker is a human, but there is an instant that says for 1 turn you can turn it for 2 mana. You can turn it into a 4/4 serpent. So you have your human that you turn into a 4/4, and then you evolve on top of it because it's not a human anymore, and then you attack in with it. It's really expensive and really stupid, but imagine.
Imagine.
Imagine now you have a 4/4 double striker. Because to me, my whole thing is double striker is really good. I also think that the best evolved target is Ginger Brute. Because it's 1/1 haste and you pay 1 and it gains unblockable except by haste.
Basically it's unblockable.
Yeah.
Pay 1
Pay 1 unblockable. And even God.
Is it still food?
Yes, you can also sacrifice it. You can. Yeah.
I don't know how creature typing works. Like, I'm sure they're gonna let it still be sacrificable.
Oh yeah, it's the ability. Everything is additive whenever it evolves. It doesn't lose anything.
No. Okay, so it keeps all the old creature types too.
Yes.
So is it still an artifact too?
Yes.
I don't know if the good evolved.
Well, it just depends how artifact hate you got in the deck. I'm just saying that there's a red goblin that does something similar. It's only defender. It's like 1 mana, but to me, the artifact means that the Ginger Brute can go in any deck. It's any deck. You don't have to worry about, am I in the right colors? You're always in the right colors. You can pay 1 mana, summon that thing.
Yeah, last week I hit a point where I've been thinking about playing Arena for a while. And then last week at one point I remembered when I played Magic and going through stacks of cards, knowing what all of the cards did as I passed through them. And that was the point where I said, no, I do not want to play Arena. I do not want to dedicate that much brain space to Magic cards again.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. It's great. I love it.
No way.
I love it.
No way.
It's and part of the appeal is I get to feel like I'm pulling one over on Wizards of the Coast by playing free to play. I'm like, ha, I got you. That appeal is so good, so good. I feel like I'm beating the house every time. I love it.
There's no way. I'm not. So I'm thankfully past wanting to play Magic Arena.
Yeah, it's good though.
But now I'm at the point of thinking of playing Animal Crossing again.
Yeah.
There's just so much Animal Crossing going around.
Yeah, Animal Crossing's real good. So, I'm sharing the. Did I talk about how I'm sharing the island with my dad, and he's playing Animal Crossing too?
No, you haven't talked about that yet.
Okay, because he keeps doing stuff that's annoying. He keeps putting crap in front of my house. like there was a telephone pole one day. And then there were 2 telephone poles, and I had to move them. And then he put like this seashell arch in front of my house, and he keeps doing it. He thinks it's hilarious.
It sounds pretty hilarious.
And I'm like, stop it. And he keeps mining stuff. It's like it is fun. I will admit, it is fun. So my revenge is because there's the Easter event going on right now, and it's terrible. And you keep thinking that something will be worth something, and it turns out it's just an egg. And it's kind of aggravating because you think you're digging up something, it's egg. So what I'm doing is I'm stockpiling eggs so that for the next several months, I will be burying eggs for him to dig up and be disappointed by. So I have like 60 eggs. So it's just every day, one of those fossils is an egg. Or it's like because there is the gentleman's agreement of you don't take all the resources on the island. You take about half. So that because that's rude. Where it's just like, well, I never get to get any fruit trees anymore. It's like, nah, you leave about half open.
That seems.
But yeah, so for the next several months, the eggs will continue. That's my plan.
I like it. I like it. That is a good plan.
All
And it
right.
also makes me wonder that you're gonna on Monday it's gonna roll around and all your eggs are just gone because they were Easter time only.
Oh no, they're in storage. They're in the storage, so they're not gonna like fade. Like they'll stay because you can use like resources and stuff to make them. But
Okay.
it's just that they won't spawn anymore. So they might be rare. If someone really wants this egg thing I finally got a mirror to fix my face because my face was terrible, and then I fixed it.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Oh, I downloaded the new Showdown,
Yeah.
and Fakum Ram in Tech.
Ah. How are those?
Fakum Ram's a pretty good bowler, I have to say.
Oh.
My Tekken's weird now that bother dolls because all the characters now just have at least 4 default costumes that are all
Yeah.
pretty good. It's not like Soul Calibur 6 where the doll makes more nuance.
Yeah.
If the finished products are worse, it still gives you more creativity and freedom to try stuff
Oh
and
yeah.
see. At least this is my failure. Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, were you around where we made Thick Ninja or found Thick Ninja on Soul Calibur?
I was not there that day.
Okay.
I will remember waiting in the Discord and being like, "Where are these jerk offs?" And then you came in and said, "No, we had to show them Thick Ninja."
Yeah, the finest of character creation. Yeah, we gotta wrap it up because I'm starting to get over an hour.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, later days.
Bye.